This afternoon, I have the pleasure of introducing a new program, Expresso and Chit-Chat. And Miss Lucy Bradley is going to go more into detail about that.
Hi, you guys. How are you guys doing today? So I'm here to introduce Expresso and Chit-Chat. Me and my friend Shameka have been, for a while talking about trying to do something to enrich the community and touch on community issues. So Donna's gave us a platform to do just that. So we want you guys in the future, Chesney, the MC here, will have something across the bottom of the screen so you can have a private comment box for issues or different things that you might want to talk about, for us to talk about. With that, today we picked the topic, community issues with children. And I think that's a very important topic because there's a lot of things going on in the community that's affecting children and just across the board need to be discussed.
I completely agree with that.
Okay.
I feel like in this day and age, with the challenges of technology, parenting is not caught up to technology.
Right.
So there are a lot of pit holes that parents fall into where they're not able to parent children in the fashion that they need to be parented. But not only that, with the economic resources that parents have, they're not in the homes as much as they would have been 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
So I broached the subject to you guys. What are ways that parents can be more available to their kids and combat technology in order to make sure their kids stay on the up and up? I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think about it?
I don't know. That's kind of...
Well, I'm going to be honest. I had, this is something I had saw or read on Facebook, and it was talking about basically how children that are outside playing, that are in nature, you know what I'm saying, that are engaging interactively, you know what I'm saying, actually fare better mentally, you know what I'm saying, and emotionally than children, you know what I'm saying, that are stuck on these game systems,
Right.
That are, obsessed with social media, because they're not having, real substantial interactions, and just being in nature, you know what I'm saying, it is good for mental health, period. But I thought that was interesting, because my son, I can't lie, he's, like most kids, he's 7, he's kind of addicted to Roblox. And I'd say addicted, because, that's like the first thing he looks forward to coming home and doing.
Right.
But to kind of steer him away from that, I've been trying to get him out and be more interactive, just, throwing the ball around, just, when we go to the playground, whatever, I'm, try to interact with him. I'm getting a little older.
Absolutely.
And it ain't as easy,
No, it's not.
Because I'm 45, but, I try to interact with him and make sure he's having more interactive experience with people, because some of these kids don't really have that,
Yeah.
And then, the only thing that they're engaged in all day is a computer screen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or
and
a
that's
tablet.
at school as well.
Yeah,
Like
because now they do tablets at school.
Technology at school, technology at home.
Well, I kind of, wanted to say, in a way, it's pros and cons with everything.
Absolutely.
So, I do, like, Legend is on the iPad at night a lot, like, before he goes to bed, but he does engage in the daytime. But I do want to say the pros to him being on that, though, he's very smart.
Right.
And the times are changing. I think that both are necessary and it needs to be a balance.
Right.
That's the key right there is the
because,
balance.
Because the times are changing more to technology. I don't want him to be behind because, I was, grew up or was raised because we didn't have that stuff. So we had, it was more go outside and do that. Like my daughter China, she's 22. She didn't ride bikes like I rode bikes.
Right.
Then, and she's older. So, it needs to be a balance. And then also when you said interact, I feel like social skills are important.
Absolutely.
And you can get those in different ways because some of the kids you don't kind of want them to interact with.
Well, that's true.
In a sense you do, in a sense you don't. Like I said, it's pros and cons
Right.
with it all.
And that comes back to the parenting aspect of it.
Right.
So if you're taking your child and your child's outside and you're out there with him, like you said, you're throwing a ball or you're making sure that your son is interacting, or what are ways that we can also, we're talking about community and change, like if that other child sees you as a parent outside with your kid, if you notice, kids don't act like that. There are some things that are still old school. Now there are some kids, if they see you out there, they know Miss Lucy's going to be outside. Right. They're not going to act the fool in front of Miss Lucy because they know there's
to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Because it just depends
on the household they came from.
Exactly.
Because if they don't have respect for their mom or their household is, who's to say?
That's because I've been running into a lot of that with my child being 7 and other kids not having the same level of respect and not being brought up, you know what I'm saying, which what I call home training and discipline. There's certain things you don't say or do in front of adults.
Absolutely.
And now it's like these kids have no filter, you know, like where I live, there, you know, some of these kids are outside cussing or whatever. And if you correct them or you know, now they're cussing at you, and I'm gonna go tell my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing though, as a community, we know these things are happening, right?
Yeah.
So what options can we give if you see a young parent struggling?
Right.
Because I'm almost 50.
I mean, you know, this is my thing. I see like stuff all the time. I parent like I'm regardless, and I wasn't a walk in the park growing up myself.
Right.
But that didn't change the way my dad parented.
Right.
Okay, or how things were going to run. Whether I did or not, I'm getting in trouble, and this is still the rule. I'm not going to be like, oh well, I just throw my hands up.
Right.
What I've noticed is that parents don't even have, even like some I see, the kids at 20 or whatever, they don't listen to that elder voice.
Right.
It's like as generations change.
I just was even what you're saying. We also got to mention that now the months of women raising kids, single families.
Right.
And I'm not saying the dad's not in the picture, but it's that communication with them too, to connect so that we can actually say, well, we can trust somebody.
Right.
But we have to be the one that's the single parent, be the better person.
Right.
Because you know, a lot of times we get our feelings hurt, or we you know, we're going through something because we're single,
Right.
and it's hard with kids.
It is.
Right.
And so we have to be the bigger person,
Right.
even though the male may not be the bigger person. Say, well, I made this mistake, but this is our baby,
Right.
and this is what we got to focus on, not on how you feel about yourself.
Right.
Well, you know, I've seen, and just paying attention as I got older, that you know, people just do not think the same. It's mental illness with some of these people, and they can seem normal, but something ain't clicking.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
like
That's
the
true.
And some people just don't have no emotional maturity.
yeah,
like
that
they don't
too,
grow.
but they think that they're being a father, which it's not. You can't tell them no different.
Right.
I've seen that, and I know what a father is because I had a good one. So you get what I'm saying?
So emotional intelligence is something that you just hit on. Okay, so emotional intelligence. So we have, and let's just look at a timeline of a child per se.
Mhm.
You get up in the morning, and you know, let's say they're elementary because there's an elementary school bus across. And I've noticed this. Last year there were 3 kids in the bus. Now there's 13, and I'm like, where did 3 go to 13 in over a summer? But emotional intelligence. There's a young man. He's crying every morning. Imagine that I left my home and I'm already crying, and I haven't went to school for 8 hours, and I get off the bus and I'm crying,
Yes.
Right.
and then
You going back to that environment?
I'm going back to that environment.
Right.
But I think that we, as individuals, all of us educated women sitting at this table, we don't want to get ourselves thrown in the fire where somebody's cussing at you and doing all these things. But on the same token, I'm going to be an old lady one day, and so is everybody here. She's just getting better and better with age. But
fine wine.
But fine wine. But like, that's the thing is, how do I change my community? Because one day this kid is going to be an employee somewhere, or maybe not.
Yeah.
And, but also, I've seen people sit around and say, "Oh yeah, little Johnny, he was a great kid, but now he's an inmate." But also, I never see people say, when little Johnny was doing things that he wasn't supposed to be doing, what did I say? What did I do? Did I watch?
Right.
You know, and it comes with like before you had a village. Now you cannot.
Absolutely.
But now you can't discipline somebody else's kid, because now you're coming from a place where people get offended. You know what I'm saying? Why are you saying anything to my kid? That's not your kid. Don't talk to my kid. You know what I'm saying? But they're not out here monitoring their child. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know, some parents are at work and they're tired. You know what I'm saying? So they send their kids outside. But, you know, if you're not out there, you know, this is a thing for me, too. Like, when my son first started, like, really playing with other kids and hanging out with other kids, like, I don't see, like, you know, just letting him play. Like, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? Because also to guide his interactions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, somebody says something to him he don't like. But then it's like, I want to be the person that's like, okay, that wasn't right what you said to my son. You know, like, to teach him how to interact.
How to correctly handle it.
Yeah. And it's like, there's not parents out there doing it. And then when you are correcting, because I've had this happen numerous times, you correct somebody's kid, you know what I'm saying? Or you try to tell them something about their kid, and it's, you know, it's an attitude. You know, it's not a village anymore. It's not, you know, women embracing other women.
Because you're in a different time.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what you have to realize. So you still have to try to be an impact, but you're dealing with a whole different mindset of people.
Right.
And that's true.
And that is the fact.
And people aren't being raised like they used
and
to.
they're not.
To value and respect
Here's the
others.
thing. When I will tell you, I grew up outside of West Virginia. So what you guys are talking about, I never had a sense of community prior to that. You locked your door with 2 or 3 locks and you didn't speak to your neighbor.
Like,
So it's the one thing about Beckley in West Virginia that attracts me. Because people know other people. They know your kids. They know the generation. You ask about the Bradleys, they can tell you whose kid belongs to who. I didn't grow up like that.
Right.
So when you come here and you see the opportunity to build your community into what you want it to be, we can say this is what it is right now. But I want to be the change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all of you guys can be the change.
Right.
Like, and I know that sounds cliche, but you can't. And I will use you as a prime example. I have watched the growth in you as a woman since I've met you. So you can't tell me that you can't go out and change something because I know that that's not true.
Because you changed your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
But also, if I see a kid and they are straying, hey, come on, man. You know you shouldn't be doing that. Come on. That doesn't have to be, it doesn't always have to be a corrective action as much as it is I now become in that list of people that might have been short.
Right.
I now might become the list of people that kid doesn't disrespect.
Right. Yeah,
and so,
I
and you are that person. Like, kids are not, they be like, I don't mess with Lucy like that. She say something, you do it, right?
Right.
But here's my thing. That one person, so that this kid sees you, your son sees her son do something, and it's a positive thing.
Right.
And then he's like, man, I ain't doing that because look what happened. He's gaining, he's winning from that. And the only way that we change that is there are programs that help and assist. But you're right when you say emotional instability, emotional intelligence,
and emotional regulation.
Exactly. And it's childhood trauma that these kids are, and that's what's keep happening generation.
We talk about, especially in the Black community,
and it affects each person differently. And I see it in girl stuff. Something like I have childhood trauma, but I know how to handle it. I didn't, I'm cool. But then I see it in men that's my age now. I can see it now. I've never paid attention till 43 or 44 years old. Now I'm like, I'm seeing it. Like I can identify it, and even if they're successful, even if they're not, even if that stuff does different things to people. To make them the way they are, and it's from what it could be something that we both had went through, but it affected you like that, and not not me. I think as an individual on that.
So we can't change Princeton, like we can't change Princeton, but we can change Beckley,
Right.
We can change Beckley. We can change what happens at East Park. You can change what happens on Prince Street. Like, and also like all of y'all are viable individuals in this community who are presence. Like. Even earlier, you said, I don't know I'm an MC. I can make a change. I can do what I can do. Like, but if you have to want to make it, right? So, I used to, when I first came to Beckley, I'd see older people sitting on their porch. Now I don't. That bothers me as a person because I feel like they have invested in this community, and I can't sit on my porch. Like, and it's but I also know I'm 49. I turned 49 on Monday. I can change. I can change some things. You know what I'm saying? I am in a position where I can change things. So are all of you. You're in a position where you can change things. You're all over this state helping people. Believe me, if somebody wants something in this, they'll call Lucy first.
They do.
They know.
They do. I have people that I help.
She was in the camp with us. These kids were like, oh, that's just Barry's mom. I can go ask her. She knows. Like, you're in here. When people come in this office, you're the face there. And she's a pastor. Like, all of us different walks of life, but all on the same path. So, when you say that, how do you change it?
So, it's back to the community. It's back to us, individual women and males, trying to get together to make a place where the kids could be. We have, if you look around in Beckley, the kids have really nowhere to go.
That's so true.
And they have nothing base to do, but the parent want to give them a machine to say, hey, this is your friend. Now, I'm not your friend. I'm just your mom, so don't ask me about this. But so we keep on pushing them into the wrong direction. So when do it stop? Yes, we'll be the people to go and say, hey, we want to start this.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, starting something is not easy.
No.
Right.
Because you may be just you and one person, or you and your son, or
Y'all
daughter.
starting this.
And look at
Yeah.
this. I mean, I'm saying it's not. I'm telling you, it is hard, but you have to keep on fighting for that child. Fight. I was watching something on TV last night. I mean, on Facebook, it's like kids missing all over.
Yeah.
Right.
I see that.
So we know a parent somewhere that kid got out. 10, 12, 15 years old. Don't even know where that.
Was it 3 college kids this past week missing?
And then they said, I think it was mentioned, they said, we either find them or we found them dead. And, and that comes to your heart when you think about this is somebody's baby. And so we have to people going to always say, no, we don't want our kids in that thing. But you're not doing nothing with them.
Right.
And the kids want thriving, want to be loved. And I think, I'm not just because this is here, Donica here, you know what I'm saying, at the summit here, as a group. And all y'all guys have worked this so long with Dawn, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, this is not going to work. But we have kids. We know where they're at. And that's a good thing. And we try to bring who we can in. The roots is sometimes you may not just see maybe 6 of us there. But we're there. We just people ready to work. It don't matter. You have to keep at it. The community won't keep at it. But if we having something, I'm not saying just for churches, we want a gathering. Gather our babies.
Right.
Y'all had your time. This is time for us to say, what can we do in this community to make this a happy place, happy, so when they grow up, they say, wow, I remember Cynthia, I remember Lucy, I remember, you know what I'm saying, just remember people that pushed them.
Yeah.
And we are the people.
Right.
Regardless of how we feel personally, we are the people. I don't care if you get mad at Tom and whoever, whatever, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, we are the people.
Yeah.
And they're going to look at you. They're not going to look at somebody saying, well, my mom's really mad at that person, you know.
Right.
It'll come back to us,
Right.
to haunt us, and say, we did something wrong, because a lot of this stuff we have to have pray about it and trust God. And I'm telling you, it's not hard. It's not easy, but you have to stand and keep standing. I think when I grew up, they had something we called youth center, and that's all they had.
Yeah.
They didn't have, everybody gathered out on Fridays, had a little dance, or go home. And basically wasn't, not a lot, but everybody knew everybody.
Right.
And so we want them to be somewhere safe.
Right.
Trust.
Right.
To trust us.
Yep.
To say, and every time I speak about it, and I'll tell anyone, I said, you can bring them up here to the vine, to whatever, we got here, and they'll be fine. I said, we have people supervised there all the time. I said, they don't go out on doors. They don't go, where they don't have to be, though they shouldn't be. But people, the parents want you to be, say, I'm concerned. I trust you. I trust you with my baby.
And some of the parents don't care.
Now, I know.
Yeah.
That too. I mean,
you got a
it's
lot of
kids
that.
I done seen outside by herself at 3 years old walking up the street. Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. They don't care. And because the home life is not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everybody's walls don't have the same.
Yes.
Right. They
thing.
don't.
They don't.
And like this is what I told Jada. Like, I don't care what Susie does at her house. I don't run my house like your
Yes.
friends.
Yes. Right.
I don't.
That's right.
Not saying that my kids do stuff,
Yeah.
but there's consequences at my house.
All kids.
All
do things.
kids.
Right, but some kids don't have consequences.
Right. No consequences.
My house do.
Right.
You can
And-
follow if you want to. You ain't gonna have none.
And here's the thing. Okay, your friends want to come over here. If you're at my house, these consequences apply.
Right.
You need
And
to
see-
know before you
right.
come.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But also,
I'm not letting certain ones come.
well, but here's the thing.
Mm-mm.
I understand that. But what I will say to you is that on the same token with that parent, if you know, usually what happens, and this is just my social work experience, is if that kid who's in trouble always looks like they're having more fun, right?
Right.
Trouble looks like fun until it's trouble, right?
Right.
It always does. I always was the kid like, oh, let me try that. I'm gonna try it one time. If I get burned, then I'll stop. But if I don't get burned, I'm gonna put my hand back in again, right?
Right.
So when you're in school, the kid that's in trouble, well, he don't gotta sit in class. I'm stuck in class.
Right.
That's right.
he don't get to, and although that it doesn't, but from a psychological standpoint, that looks like fun when you're 14.
Yeah.
When you're 18 or 19, that looks like jail time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't, I mean, what's a DR? I mean, ask a kid, oh, he got a DRF. It's not even a big deal. Like, I'm like, it's a big, my dad had a rule. A means you did it. B means you tried. C means you're a mediocre. D means, and F is just, you just didn't even care.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And he held you to that fire.
Wow.
And if you didn't, and it was like, if you don't like it, then guess what? When you get your own house, you can
Right.
do whatever you want to
Right.
do.
Exactly.
But we are 5 generations past that now.
Right.
Right.
We are.
So technology is raising kids, and we have to figure out as parents, because none of us are going to be young
And then some
forever.
kids ain't even got the means in the home to even get some of the technology. that
That's
some
true,
kids
too.
are blessed with. I mean, and it's like, you know.
So I got to pivot on this. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a serious. You're all parents. Everybody in here has been parents, except for Chesney. Her time's coming.
But
But
you soon will it
but
never
she's
soon.
young enough to remember what it was like to be in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, she's still. You're still. We have every age gamut across here. Like, we're able to like look at it from every side. When you're raising kids, or you see a child at risk in this community, what do you think? All of you, like, what are the top 2 things that you wish, like, that parent knew? That they knew. Because for mine, it would be like, I wish that parent knew they could get some help.
Yeah, but my thing is, they do know they don't care, some of them.
No, that's true too.
Some of them, like, it just depends on the person and the situation.
Well, let's say it's a
Some
parent
people
that does want help.
Some people are comfortable in their mess.
Right.
And that's it. They don't want to go no further. They just don't. I know grown people, they ain't got no kids that's comfortable in a.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been a mess of the mess. You know,
Right.
but and at 21, I'm not the same mother that I am at 44.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for my dad, Thomas Ray and Sandra Wallace and all them to help me raise China, because I was not a parent.
Right. But what would you want somebody to say to the 21-year-old Lucy that wasn't a parent?
I knew I had help.
You knew you had help.
But I told them, I was like, I ain't ready for no kid. My dad said, have it for me. So I knew that I wasn't ready for no
Okay.
kid.
But what about the one that's trapped? What about the girl?
Yeah.
What about the girl? Here, I'm gonna give you an example.
It's rough.
What if Chesney was struggling? I mean,
I
what if
Chesney,
you was
I'm
struggling?
gonna say, I told you to go get on birth control, Chesney. I did. Because it's hard at that.
It is very difficult.
Especially if you do not have the support system.
And a lot of us don't have the support system.
So what should be
a lot of us
okay?
don't.
So let's build a toolkit for Chesney. Like, and we're all women.
Okay.
Let's build a toolkit. What would you put in Chesney's toolkit to make sure that Chesney didn't turn into the type of parents that we're weary of? What do you think? What do you think? What were the things that you needed?
Helping out, giving her a break. From
What
time to
I
time.
need,
Every mother needs
what
a break
I
from
needed
time to
was
time.
not to have a kid at 21. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Well, we already got the baby.
It was nothing you could put in the kid. It wasn't gonna help. It was not time for me.
Well, okay, so let's talk about the resources that Chesney had.
Right.
Okay, because Mountain
Mountain
Heart
Heart.
is like begging. Like, when we're talking about this Mountain
Yeah.
Heart, literally, if you go on any of the websites, the technology, and Facebook, they're like, hey, we babysitting kids. Bring us kids.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And it's a great resource, but the only thing is, like for me, because I'm a single mother, I have no help from no one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my mother lives in Parkersburg, which is like 2.5 hours away, and it's just me. There, the dad's not involved. I'm not close with my sisters, which that he could have aunts. I have 8 nieces. But none of these people are involved, you know what I'm saying, with helping me. And the thing with Mountain Heart is it's a great resource, and especially if you're a mother trying to work and make, child
And going to school.
to make it affordable. Well, what about the mothers that never get a break? You know what I'm saying? And for our own mental health.
Well, honestly,
Well,
if
I
you
have a
took,
resource for you. I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
okay.
Please.
if you said, hey, I'm going to look for a job, they will keep your kid 5 days a week for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did that program, when I first.
So that's your break.
Because, I sat at home, I had my child late in life. I didn't have my baby, so I was 38.
But what I'm saying is you can still use that as a resource for a break.
But it only lasts for a month.
No, it don't.
You can get it for up to
3
90 days.
Okay, it's
90 days.
3 months.
And listen, but here's my thing. For those times, also, that person could also go to FMRS. and say, listen, they have programs there, because sometimes, maybe not in your case, but mental health aligns with that as well. You're sacrificing for the greater good, of course, your child, but you have to be able to be healthy as well.
Right.
Mental health wise.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like every mother, needs somewhat of a break, to have some type of personal time. Because when you get that break, it allows you to, still, because sometimes as mothers, we lose ourselves, a little bit of ourselves, just being a mom, focusing on our child, But it kind of allows you to still, hold on to some of the individualism that you have.
Well,
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
now, like, my break is going to work. Like, it's like, that's my break now. But at 20-something,
Okay.
I was just thankful to have the help that I did because, now, or I'll take a break. Like, okay, I'm going out of town. Let me get somebody,
Okay. In the toolkit, take a break.
Take a break.
Take a break. Okay, toolkit, Mountain Heart, take a break. WIC.
Right.
Milk.
WIC.
Right.
Listen, WIC, and I will tell you this, WIC has come a long way.
It has.
When I had WIC a million years ago, it was a yellow folder with green checks in it.
Right.
And you had to stand there and hold up the line for a million years, and they only would do each check individually, like milk, juice, this. Milk, you had to break them up and you try to use them all up. Now it's on a card.
You can swipe it.
You can swipe it. It can tell you what you need. You can go online and look at it.
Yeah,
And
you
then
gotta
they
do
increase
those
like the
little-
fresh fruits and vegetables that's
Absolutely.
being allowed,
And-
which was a big help.
and-
Oh yeah.
And you still got like to do those little meetings.
Yeah, you do the meetings, but they weigh your baby. They make sure you're healthy. They ask you questions. But also, that's where they also have implemented some mental health things with that as well. To say, how are things going? You can they should be. I don't know what it is in West Virginia because that's been a long time. But it's a long time. My youngest is 23. It's a long time. But when you're looking at those types of things, so you got WIC, you got Mountain Heart, you got that. But also DHHR. I was going to say DRS. DHHR. They have programs that West Virginia works that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
That can help you get a car, pay for your insurance for 6 months.
Do your dental if you get that one thing. I had a worker back when I was young, and nobody tells you this stuff, but she was the best. She had me stuff that nobody would have ever told. Like, you can go to do this and get reimbursement this, and it was dental thing for $5,000 for your teeth, or stuff for your eyes, with the whole voucher that was good for whatever. It was, she just told me everything. So there is stuff for it.
Yeah. Do they still do the program for people that are income eligible? Like if you're having trouble with your vehicle, that they help?
I don't know.
Because they were doing that
they used to have good something garage. Good something garage. I can't remember what the middle word is. But they used to, you could take your car there. It was based on your income.
Right.
And it used to be right beside Gabe's. And then I don't know if that happened or not. But if you go to DHHR and you are working, and under West Virginia Works, there are some income requirements. Right. But I think it's 150% of the poverty level. So it's pretty substantial.
Right.
That you could go and still get assistance with those types of things. So we're looking at, we've got single Chesney with the baby, and she's getting WIC,
and you might can get a card through that.
Yeah,
and transportation is important.
Right.
But also,
absolutely around here.
To what you were saying, that's where DRS, where I'm at, comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because if she's a single mom and she's working at a job that is not her dream job,
right?
We want to get her to a place where it's her dream job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all know Chesney. We know you graduated, you got a job, you stepped up to a better job, and that is life. It's start this job, move your way up, next job, dream job, right?
Right. Yep.
So when you're looking at this, you might get to where you have this child now, and you're living in substandard housing in an environment that you don't want to be in, and your dream might be house, car, good job, money in the bank. Let's just say, because according to Susie Orman, we have 6 months worth of our savings, and I don't know that many people that do. But let's just say that's what your goal was. When you come there, you come in and you say things like, "Hey, I've got this going on." That's where if you have mental health issues or a physical ailment or something's going on, or if you don't know but you know something's going on, then we can help you to figure it out. And then, if we need to send you to counseling is healthy, warranted, and needed
for many people.
For many,
yeah,
So if we're saying that, especially, and people don't think about it, but going from a single person to a single mom to having a baby and raising a child are all transitions.
No, it all.
These are all not.
Is.
You're equipped mentally, but sometimes you're not equipped with how fast the change comes.
Right. Right.
And that's why pregnancy is 9 months and not 9 days.
And if
Right.
you have postpartum, some people experience
Yeah,
that. I
you
did.
experience
I did.
But if you come in and you're doing that, you say, hey, I want to be a nurse. I know I'm not a nurse right now, but I want to be a nurse. That the job of the counselor there is to talk to you about the different levels of nursing, how you get to it. And then you might be like, listen, I don't have 4 years to designate to that. But in 10 months, I can be an LPN, sign me up. That's when you say, okay, come on, Mountain Heart, come on through. Come on, get this, get this.
Right.
Till you graduate, guess what? They're going to be beating on your door to give you a job.
And you get paid good.
And you get paid well. Guess what? Quality of life. Moved up. Then you look at your schedule and you say, I got a baby, Mountain Heart. Then I'm going to eventually wage out of Mountain Heart because you're going to make too much money.
Well, yeah.
But also, you've also made more money.
Well, they have a gap thing, so you can make a pretty much
Decent amount of money.
You can make almost $6,000 and keep a month and keep your
Mountain Heart.
But sometimes let's discuss this. Now, for me, because I'm a very protective parent, I only have one child, adding late in life. Sometimes it's scary, with choosing a a child care provider.
Healthcare's scary too.
Well, healthcare provider is scary too. I mean, yes, ma'am, it is. So that Freudian slip is it stands.
I mean, you should know somebody that's decent, or you should somebody that's going, and you gotta try, because life is scary.
It is.
And this is how they get those you're talking about playing with decent children's stuff. Like my son go to Tina, and he's fine there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's the thing. He's in a safe environment.
Right.
It ain't a bunch of mess going on.
Well,
your child getting exposed to grown stuff.
Well, usually those people aren't mountain.
Girl, you just never know. Because, I mean, there's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? These people are working in their homes. So
right, but I know the people that I'm dealing with, so I'm not going to put my kid in the home to where I know that this, because you know everybody. That's the good part about it.
That's why. Then a lot of times we think about our pride.
Yeah.
Pride will stop us from at the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we already got some issues going on with us.
Right.
Right.
So, it's like our issues need to be addressed.
Right.
Yeah. And that way we can move on.
I'm not going to
you keep saying hold on to that.
Anybody's
No, you don't. I would not suggest
but
that.
See, this is the good thing about Becky. You know everybody that you're dealing with, so it's
not
like you're
to a certain extent.
I do.
See, no, that's because you're Lucy. You always everybody knows Lucy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
you're very social. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
you know people too.
I do to a certain extent, but not on a personal level. Like I know who people are, and Beckley, I'm like, oh, okay, I know the person. You know what I'm saying? Because I am 45. But at the same time, my mom was very strict. I didn't get to engage with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
But you know that the certain people.
It's up to trust.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Well, that's
Well, your son is older. He can tell you
we
what's
can't
going
sit
on.
here and
Well, no,
say
I know. But I get it.
But that's like him going to school. He can tell you what's going on.
Well, and here's the thing.
He
Think
can
about
say, "Hey,
it
mom,
like
this is what happened today at what's your call's house." Like
you don't necessarily now, depending on what hours you choose to work. The
Well, that's
Salvation
why-
Army is running an after school program.
Well, what's
YMCA
okay with them
runs an
if you have
after-school
that
program.
issue though, because anything can happen over there too. I mean, you gotta look on certain things like I can't be scared. You can't either to let your son. That's like saying I'm scared for him to go to school because something happened. Something happened
I do.
anywhere.
I ain't gonna lie. I do.
Right.
In this day and age, you know what I'm saying?
And it's fair. Like, in this day and age, if you watch the news, it's
Right. No, like as soon as I drop my son off, whatever, and he gets there and walks to the school, I'm already saying a prayer, like, Lord, just please protect
Yeah,
him,
I
cover
get it.
him, cover this school, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I don't want you to be too anxious about everything because he's gonna have to grow up and he's gonna have to get out there in the real world.
And he does.
And it's
And he
scary.
does.
It is. I think I be looking at legislative like, like I got a whole plan to move him to a better place. I'm gonna try everything I can to keep him in the
Right.
And the straight and narrow.
And
Straight and
that's
narrow.
back to, wouldn't that be back to not mental health, but back to community place where you can go. I'm not saying you personally, but then you can go and feel easy.
Right.
That you can talk to someone
Right.
and say, "But I don't trust a lot of people. I need to find
Right.
myself,
and maybe
so I
that's
can be able to
some
deal with."
issues that you might have.
Right.
That you need to.
No, it really is. It really
Right.
is.
I mean, you thinking like she mentioned, though I'm by myself. I do this, but at the end of the day, you got to let somebody in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So-
true.
Right.
That's
You
true.
know, but we
Or you
keep
never
them
get a
out.
break.
That's true.
We keep them out. Even because you make, like you said, I don't have 1,000 people to watch my back. I don't trust people because I don't know them.
Right. Right.
You can know somebody if they do something.
Like if
No,
I
you can.
listen,
You
if I had to do something real quick and I had to drop my son off to you, I'm okay. I know he's gonna be good till I get back, and I'm gonna take that chance. I believe that in my heart.
Yeah.
You know, right here.
Absolutely. Listen, and I think that it's different nowadays because, and this is, I will say this, in the 1990s and 1980s, the same stuff was probably still happening.
You just didn't know about it.
We didn't know about
Right.
it. Because technology makes it
Right.
like right now.
Where you wanna go? Got it everywhere.
Listen, there is no way.
Right.
Like raising a kid nowadays, like I think about whenever I would, and this is the God's honest truth. When I had my kids and I moved to West Virginia, I said I would never raise a kid in the DMV. I would never raise a kid there. There's too many outlying external things I cannot control.
Factors, yeah.
There's just too many things. Here, my kid went to Sophia Soap Creek. There were 17 kids in his class. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know everybody. You see the parents pull up.
Right.
You have that sense of community here.
Right. You
That's
gotta
more
know
than anywhere.
You gotta have an idea what
That's such a positive.
You would die if you was in the city,
girl. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, baby.
you would
I already, I had that conversation with one of my friends or whatever
It's such a positive.
about moving away and where places where there's more opportunities. But like I told my friend, like for me and my child, like, and especially him being a boy, like, you go to a city, you know what I'm saying? You got gangs, you know what I'm saying? Not that we don't have a drug problem here, because our drug problem's pretty bad here as well. But I mean, you just don't know.
This is nothing compared to.
And then there's so much more random stuff that happens in the city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
and
more
just,
people. So
I just couldn't see myself living in the city.
Listen,
Like you said, that hometown feel.
I'm more concerned that my kid would get bit by a dog than get shot here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference.
Right.
And I had to think about that as like, he's walking down the street and he doesn't do something, or for some various reason, somebody doesn't like him and something happens.
Right.
He ain't walking down the street in Sophia. If you ain't driving, you ain't leaving. So
It's
like,
different.
so I mean,
It's
like,
true.
I had to really, when you're weighing your community, and you're right, the sensitive, positive, so many positive things happen here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's mentoring. Don's doing the mentoring.
Yes.
You're talking about.
Don is doing mentoring for Beckley because I seen a friend post on my timeline that it needs to be mentorship in Beckley, West Virginia. Don is providing.
Yeah. And like we do it, like Lucy was doing it, and I was doing it during the school year. We were bringing girls here, teaching them how to journal, how to be able to express yourself, where it doesn't have to be, let me automatically go on Snapchat, take a picture, or make fun of somebody, or yeah, absolutely. Like what I can do is I can get myself straight first, and that is
build
what
our self-esteem.
we were
confidence.
working with these girls, and I started with a very small group. There were just 5 of them.
Right.
And they were like, oh, my friend wants to come. No, ma'am, we're going to keep this 5. And the reason we did is because we're talking about personal things.
Right.
And that's what things, like I'm sitting here, there's 5 women here. We don't do enough of this.
Right.
Where women are saying, because women move your community.
Right.
I'm not saying men don't, but women, moms, grandmas,
they get out there doing the things.
They move your community.
You're right.
And we're the first nurturer of the child. You know what I'm saying?
How you love your child.
Right. Is the message you give your child is the message they give to the world.
That's exactly
and that's a quote from Malcolm X.
And if you do it, if you're doing it, then when your kid goes out, they build healthy relationships, because that's what the first relationship they had was.
Right.
Like, so they understand that that's embedded in you.
Right.
So when you go out, when somebody tells me, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I tell my 3 little ones that I tell Gabby all the time, okay, Coco Brown, go get it. You out here looking good, do it. Want to know why? Because can't nobody in these streets tell you don't look good.
Right.
Because you hear it at home.
Right.
But we have a lot of kids who are combating. We don't know what they're combating at home. You know, we don't know. So when they come to school and they act out, we're not saying what happened to you before you got here. We're saying here's your DRF.
Right.
Or have to go home to the conditions that some of these kids.
Right.
Sometimes the little places they get sent off to are better living conditions than what they got at home.
Listen, I have a student,
and that's the truth,
that I found out this week is in placement, and I can't. I'm not even mad, because sometimes you got to choose you.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to choose you sometimes, and the thing is, I'm part of what we do at DRS with our youth is we ran a million. How do you say no? Right. We know adults who can't say no, who got themselves in trouble, who are doing time, who didn't turn down the drug, didn't do anything because you don't know how to say no.
Right.
Yeah. And it's 2-letter words that you don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to say it.
You don't know. See?
I do.
I do. And I learned. And I used to be be a yes person. And I think sometimes it takes
Learning
some
to say no.
maturity and
But
some
I
growth.
promise you, there's somebody in your life, even if you learn how to say no, you will still be like, okay, I will do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be that one person that just sneaks underneath the radar, no matter what you want. But learning to say no in the most positive way possible.
Right.
You tell my sons, no. They ask me questions before they even get out, no.
Right.
And they say, why you say no? I didn't even ask, because you ain't thought about what you want to ask me first. Go back to the drawing board, give me all the facts, and come back. Because here's the thing, you're going to think about what you're asking, and then you're going to find the pit holes in it before I do.
Right.
But learning to say no, especially as women,
Right.
Yes.
when we teach kids the proper way to say no, you don't got to scream it.
Right.
You don't got to yell. You be like, no, that's not for me.
Right.
You don't even have to say no.
Right.
There's all kinds of ways to say
And
no.
also to have the wherewithal to know when it's too much and that you need to say no. You know?
To say no. And that's one of the things I notice with kids is they'll be in a gang of kids and watch something happen.
Right.
And listen, sometimes you don't know it's not even verbal. It's just walking and walking, but they don't know how to do that.
No.
Want to know why? Because social media, if you walk away, guess what? You become a person on social media that I don't like you because you're not my friend. And it didn't, and you said it earlier, social media is a blessing and a curse.
But it's creating followers too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's, you know, now they got all these trends and all this other stuff they're doing. Everybody wants to follow the same cookie cutter image. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's different stuff though. Like, you know,
some stuff is positive, but a lot of that stuff, in my opinion, is negative.
It's pros and cons and everything. This is not the world we grew up in. It's a different thing.
It's not.
Just like people before us can say the stuff we was doing. I mean, it is what it's going to be.
Right.
What you got to do is try to be a positive in whatever it is.
Right.
Because somebody needs to teach us old people social media because I don't know it.
Well,
I'm not big on social media neither, honey. I'm the old school lady.
So you can get over on me because I don't know what Snapchat really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, see,
I don't use it.
It's stuff I know or whatever. Everything ain't bad. I mean, but it's just more out there. Like if they would have social media when I was growing up, I would have never stayed in Beckley because I would have been like, oh, that's there. I could have got to see.
Right.
I didn't. Yeah, it would have made me like, okay, I'm done. Ready back up. Like, you know, why I didn't have kids? Why did I do that? Because there is more out there.
Well, let's talk about that's a good pivot point. Like,
yeah.
So let's talk about the positives of how social media is like changing our students and our kids for the best.
Honestly, I have noticed in a couple ladies that I know, there's 23, 22, 20, have a different and a better, and I'm kind of impressed because like they're like the mindset. Not that they got everything right, but this area that I did not have. Like they're like, I don't want no kids. Like, and they're like paying attention to certain things. Like that ain't for me. I didn't think like that. And I mean, I'm like, and they getting that part early.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, like certain stuff. Like they have got a work ethic, and some of them didn't come from the best of homes.
Yeah,
but they're making good decisions.
Figured it out.
Right. So you know, I do think it depends on the person and what you want. And you know, me at that age, I wasn't thinking like that. Like I just wasn't. You know, you just like,
well,
I don't know.
I will tell you one thing about social media that I learned that, and I'm old, like I said, but is when I grew up, we didn't talk about money.
Right.
Nobody talked about money.
Right.
Like you just didn't ask for things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we went in the store, you put your hand on the card, you don't ask for nothing. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
And so nobody ever said this is the way to budget money, or you should have money saved, or you should do these things.
That's the positive.
And that's a positive.
Yes.
But I learned literally. I followed a series. And like, and I can appreciate that even like here with Kollective Konversations, they're bringing in credit repair master classes. They're bringing in these things because that's something that
and cons
exactly
with everything.
Exactly.
No, it is. It is
with social media, with going to the mall or getting it online.
There's pros and cons to going to the grocery store.
Yeah,
Which
is like there's pros and cons with everything.
Well, even like for Facebook, for me, I'm not really into a lot of posts that people make and just people posting their random business, but there is a lot of information, like useful information, you know what I'm saying, out there and things, you know what I'm saying, you can take away from it that is positive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to get the Dewey Decimal System. You know, like when I grew up, there was no social media, like, and I have even said to my kids, the internet was not created until the year I graduated high school in 1994.
Right.
So that whole type it up, find it thing, no, you can go find a book.
And like the computer really wasn't either for me, and that's why I'm like, I hate it. Remember, you was like, well, I just not do what I know how to do. And that's how I am.
Yeah, I know how to do
like,
what I know how to do.
hate
That's
it.
it.
But another positive of social media is even like Google. No, well, not social media, just the internet. You know what I'm saying? Being able, like my son is crazy because, you know, he's been on his iPad since he was 2. And he looks up everything. Like if I got a cough, he's like, Mom, I think that you have just a regular cough. Like he'll look up my symptoms. Like he does. Like he just looks. Like he
is. Like you have to. The time is going to go whether you want to or not.
Right. The times are changing.
It's done it time after time. It ain't going to stop because we're like, well, this ain't done. It's going to go. You can get with it or don't.
We got to learn to adapt.
You got to.
We do.
I think kids do that a lot better than older people. They pivot better. Right. If something goes wrong, they can pivot.
I'm good at that too. I would jump to another position with the fact that I got to keep making money.
I think the older you get, the harder it is to pivot. You know,
right? But you get stuck in your ways.
But kids these days, like when I talk to kids and I'm like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And they're like, "I don't know. I think I want to be bop 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 bop." Right. And I'm like, "What is that second thing you taught? I never heard of that." You know, and they'll be like, "No, this is the person that does this, and you're like, how'd you find that out? Oh, it's all over online. You can get online. They'll pull it up and show you. And I'm like, okay. But then they're like, listen, and you can even do where you can go and they'll show you how the person does the job, and it's all online.
Oh, yeah.
So like, even
content creators,
right?
I was first. I'm like, ain't that? But you can really have a nice side hustle going with this while you doing your other job because you can make so much money from that.
Exactly.
If that would have been in my day, I would be rich off of it right now.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. But I love that, like when you're thinking about kids and like even something like that for these kids now, because even I know yesterday you had a little lady on here that was discussing hair and things like that. Even now. Kids are getting on there, and I see girls, and their hair will be done. I'm like, oh, where'd you get your hair done? I did it myself. Because there's a, step by step of how to do it. So, not only that, social media is helping them build your self-esteem, build
their empire.
Your talent.
Yeah, you market your stuff. I mean,
and there's anything,
with all these billions of people out there, you might think anybody gonna buy it. You put it up there and it's selling like crazy. Right. And somebody wants it.
Well, and that's they said a little girl got rich making pot holders, and there was, just randomness, right? So she's like making these pot holders, like she's taping herself, making these little pot holders, and she's like, help me get my college fund, and she's selling these pot holders. Right. Well, then she's selling to people in Japan and China because they want to help her do that. In 1994, I could not have made a pot holder and sold it to them.
It's a different time.
Exactly.
And different resources and a different run. And if you're willing to do that, you can. It's I always be like, Jada, this TikTok. But she's, in her little stuff. And I'm just like, let her do it. I mean, it's not.
But also, you're doing it in a way that's promoting growth.
Right.
That's promoting her empowerment. Yeah. That's promoting
and she's
her.
And you're able to supervise
and guide her.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes she be doing them little songs, because it's a trend. But they got trend dances,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the positive stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those type of trends. You know what I'm saying? Like fun. Yeah.
So if you guys were to ask yourselves, if I go back, all of us here in Chesney, we're going to give you a younger age. If I were to go back to 18 to 21-year-old you.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah, okay. What advice would you give yourself about living in this community? What advice would you give your 40-year-old self?
No. Wait a minute. If I could give my 20-year-old self advice, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, give yourself 20-year-old advice so you can get to where you want to be.
I would listen to my dad and parents. Nobody would even known who I was. I would have been such a good kid that you would have just never nothing. I would have listened.
Okay.
You would have listened. Because I realized that when you do got a decent parent or, something, they're telling you this because they love you. Why wouldn't you listen to somebody that's got your back? And it didn't click to 30-something. I'm like, why didn't I listen? I was just sitting there it makes
that inner voice.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, everything I went through, he had to build me out. He was not. I really can't tell you to this day why I didn't listen.
Okay.
It makes no sense. So listen.
All right. What about you, Cindy?
For me, it's basically be more aware of resources in my community. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the stuff that's available now, I had no idea about when I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
What about you?
I'd say more, for me, we went to move more in life. I was on the code count. So we didn't have none of this, nothing. Mm-hmm. And so it was a community that everybody knew everybody. And the other parent could beat the other kid.
That's how it should be. Right, they weren't playing with you.
And, and you think back, it was just that time. So we couldn't move forward because, you didn't have any money. I would like to did that, but I was 18 years old with a baby.
Right.
And so when you think about that, I didn't know what this was all about. Called life.
Yeah.
And you get pushed out there and you know, you're on your own. I wish I had a better chance to, but as I look at my kids, they have did way better. You know what I'm saying? As far as growing, I feel like it's in them, and that's how they get so far.
Because they had more resources than y'all did.
Yeah,
People was
right.
out there grinding, doing what they had to
Yeah.
do. It wasn't no like all of this stuff handed to y'all.
That's right.
And that's why y'all
Reading.
appreciated things
Yeah.
better.
Y'all had to get it out
Because
the
you
mud.
really had to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
get it.
And reading,
And the
you know what I'm saying? Like you say, reading, like you say, sources that you have that you didn't have. Like
Mhm.
now, you know, with the reading program, you know, I think Don's going to come
Yeah.
up.
Right.
I mean, stuff like that. We need to be involved in, you know, I
Yeah,
can't
right.
think to know this because you get out
Right.
there.
And it's
And
so,
read.
you know, but it's so crazy, like, because
Yeah, that's it.
y'all, like, you know, my dad was 9 of them. He said, we got one pair of shoes a year, and that was it. Wasn't no Christmas. We might get a one little toy or something.
Mhm.
But they had to work so hard.
Yeah,
Their mothers
did.
walked to work, and they boys quit school to help provide for the house and all this stuff to give us their kids better. And we didn't really, I can say, I didn't appreciate it
Right.
because we don't know what that
Right.
is.
That's
No,
right.
we don't know
That's
what that
right.
is.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't, and it's sad
Mhm.
because, you know, we did not really, I can say I did not, because this is just what my life was, so I didn't understand that. So, and I still don't, because I never lived it.
Right.
But, you know, y'all had it rough. But you know what? I think y'all appreciated stuff more. Y'all value stuff more. It was probably a better time in another way, the pros and the cons.
Mhm.
It was better. Community was community. You know, it was better. You was just a better person. But y'all suffered
Mhm.
more than what we had.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think y'all made something out of nothing.
Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
did.
Right.
Like nobody starved. Like you know,
No.
if you knew your
But if
people.
you didn't eat what was cooked, you wasn't gonna eat.
Yeah.
It wasn't no McDonald's, no, all this DoorDash and
No,
Yeah.
like
Splash.
zero of that. Zero of that.
Get out the
All right,
garden.
and we're gonna give you a younger. So how old are you now, Chesney?
20.
20. So what would you? What was 16-year-old Chesney tell 20-year-old Chesney?
I would tell her that she needed to be like more confident, because I didn't feel confident back then enough to say or do anything. I just felt like all this is bad, like everything is bad, nothing's gonna get better. So I would tell myself that it is gonna get better, and it did.
Yeah, it did.
Right.
Yeah, and it
Listen,
did.
And I told you it would.
Yes.
I did. She was scared. And I'm like, listen, okay, we taking this dog. Okay?
Remember the dog. We're not taking the dog.
Remember, yeah, because Rita knew. I was like, dog, I don't even got to
The
think
dog
of you.
can't go.
And she was like, okay. It took a minute, but
Yeah.
it's better, ain't it?
Yeah.
I told
Well,
you. And I said, you'll be
another
fine. He
just-
was nervous and everything.
And I think just being here, not because it's, you know, Don never says his, because he feels it's all
The community.
y'all
Yeah.
family, more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's an experience that, you know, you may not ever get again, because
Mhm.
if you look at people, they're not that close to each other out here in the world.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna wrap this up for this week. Next month we'll be back with Expresso and Chit-Chat. Hopefully Shameka will be better and be on the show with me. Raina, we really appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you.
We appreciate
Thank
you,
you so
you, and you. And I really would like to have you back on the show because I mean this has been
Get
great.
into it. Yeah, we
So
can
we're gonna
continue
let
this
Cindy
conversation.
and
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. Just send this over to Miss Raina. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are just a couple of resources that I want you guys to have before this ends. This Saturday, we will have Jamal Freedom Murphy. He'll be here in office, in place. Refreshments are included, and he's going to talk about how you repair your credit. So he's going to go over your credit score, identifying negative items, disputing errors, improving utilization, and building just good credit habits. And I think this is good for any age group. I'd say anybody who's working and making a couple dollars, let's get them in here. Like if you're a 16-year-old, you're getting your first job, and you don't know what it means, all the deductions on your check, you might want to come up here and check this out,
Yeah.
see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Or if you're that 30-year-old who's had a job for a while looking to get your house, come on up here and see what he has to say. I cannot see how this could not benefit you in any way whatsoever.
Utilize these resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please,
And then
please.
we have the Season of Sharing. It's October 11th.
October 11th, season of sharing.
Yeah. So anytime you can donate to that, hoodies, jeans, shoes. We're gonna come up here. I think he said it's gonna be chili. They're gonna serve chili. If you need to drop off anything, you can drop it off uptown at 345 Prince Street, which is the Donaghy offices, or contact Don Burton 894-6867. I will tell you, these are so impactful. Last year we did this around the same time. We gave out shoes, it was boots, and they had a spaghetti dinner and boots. And Lucy and I were running around the
town. We were on the town getting everybody
who needed shoes. So, and it was amazing that the amount of need in this community and the way that we can impact, although it is small, it is mighty. Yes. So we need to come in and we need to make sure that people understand that this is an opportunity. If you want to volunteer, we take all hands. Come on in and help.
Right. I'll pick some stuff up if you need.
Exactly. Lucy is running around in the vehicle picking it up.
Donations.
Another thing, we have the mentorship. I am going to come October start up with a new group of girls. High school girls, if you know anyone that's in need, that just needs that once a week to get out the house, have a good meal, journal, learn how to gain your emotional intelligence and some confidence, let me know. I try to get a guest speaker in. We cook in the kitchen, we journal every day, and we just figure out what it is to be a young woman coming up and how to get to where you need to be. We're also going to be having a FAFSA class for all you parents out there who think the time is up. If you got a senior, it's time. So let's get this going. And I'm doing that at the DRS office. I'm doing it on a Saturday. Come in, let's get it set up, and we're going to be doing some college tours and getting these students in Beckley. Let's build this community by education will always be a solid foundation. So we need to do that. And I do appreciate you guys letting me come today. I come here on my lunch break, so I appreciate it. And if you guys, if you ever need me, I'm down at the DRS office, or if you all know how to reach me.
And I have a phone number if you need it.
Well, listen, and we are taking applications for seniors in high school who have disabilities. And a disability is not just, hey, it's not physical. It could be mental health. It could be emotional. It could be educational. It could be anything. And if you have questions, reach out, because this community, the only way we build this community is to reach back, grab one, and build them up. So just get it done.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bye, you guys.
Stay blessed. Stay connected.